Let's see who's here. Hello. Thanks for joining me for the Friday freebie. Hope you've had a good week. I wasn't. So I can announce this with great happiness. I am fully vaccinated. I got my second Pfizer vaccination on Monday. Didn't have any side effects other than a sore arm the very first day on Monday. My arm was pretty sore, and I got really sleepy very, very early and slept nicely because I slept really soundly, but nothing else. So, it's really weird. I've heard stories of people having really awful side effects, so I was kind of bracing myself for flu-like symptoms and all this stuff, and nothing happened. I felt fine. So I think it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody knows what it is, but I cannot tell you how happy I am that I am a fully vaccinated person. Welcome. And I've even planned, I'm so excited about this, a 2-week vacation in September. I normally go to Colorado, to the Rockies, sometime in the summer to early fall for a week and hike. And I didn't go last year. I own a timeshare, and I'm one of those people who actually uses and loves her timeshare. So since I had to, what they call bank my 2020 week, I'm going to tack that on and go to Utah and hike in Bryce Canyon National Park and Zion National Park with Enid Kastner, another Sun and Moon yoga teacher. So pretty excited about that. Okay, let's get started. Go ahead and go to your mats. So just come into a comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. Lengthening the spine, relaxing the shoulders, and just taking a moment to feel your body sitting. So close your eyes or soften your gaze and just kind of look down and just let yourself feel your physical body sitting. See if you can hold on to that awareness without your mind wandering. You can scan any part of your body that you want to, or you can just have kind of a wide lens picture of your whole body sitting. Now take your attention to your breathing and find the place where you're most aware of your breath. So it could be in your belly, it could be in your chest, it could be on the coolness and warmth of your nostrils when you inhale and exhale. Wherever you can really pay attention to your breath, just focus your awareness and concentrate on that place. And then after your next exhalation, go ahead and open your eyes. So I did that little exercise because I'm actually sort of taking this course on one of my favorite apps called the 10% Happier app. It's a meditation app, and they have lots of really cool courses. And one of the things about the 10% Happier app, it's very practical and science-based. It's not spiritual or woo-woo. So it appeals to a lot of people who want to understand more how their mind affects everything else that's going on in their lives, But they don't want, a bunch of mantras or some, not that I'm not opposed to any of those things because I've had an Indian guru and I like mantras. But a lot of people are just like, give me the scientific evidence. So there is neurological scientific evidence that being able to focus your mind on your breath or your body builds cognitive muscle. I mean, they literally have $1 million machines or more than $1 million machines that can look at your brain, look at a person's brain, and see what happens when they can keep their mind still. Now, I don't like to use the word mind control, and so many people say, I can't meditate because I can't stay focused and my mind just drives me crazy. And that's true. So the idea of meditation or mindfulness, which is probably a better Western word to use, is that it's not about controlling your mind. It's not about like banging yourself on the head with a hammer so that you can't think about anything. It's about being aware when it happens that your mind wanders and being able to bring it back to a place of focus, whether it's on your breath or your body. Often in mindfulness, the main focus is the breath. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work with another style of yoga called Yin Yoga. I'm going to actually be doing a workshop on April 3rd, Saturday, April 3rd, on Yin Yoga for aches and pains. But one of the things that's really important to be able to fully get the benefit of Yin Yoga is to be able to kind of keep the mind focused and not let the mind wander. Because in Yin Yoga, we actually hold poses for quite a long time. Okay, so we probably, since it's already 10:05, we're going to go a little bit over. I usually do anyway. But go ahead now and lie down on your back. And once again, just take a moment to focus your awareness on your body and your breath. So feel your body on the floor and then take your attention to your inhale and inhalation and exhalation. Now, as we hold these poses, what I'd like you to try to do, to the best of your ability, is to stay focused once we're in the pose on your breath. Wherever you are most conscious of it. But if it wanders, if your mind wanders, don't beat yourself up, don't lose focus, just say, oh, thinking, and mentally say to yourself, thinking, and then come back to focusing on your breath. So take your arms overhead. And then I want you to take your torso around to the left, torso and arms around to the left, as far around to the left as you can, but make sure you can keep that right shoulder firmly on the floor. And now take your legs around to the left. So feel yourself in the shape of a banana and just breathe. We're going to hold this for about a full minute. Nice deep breaths. Keeping your awareness on your breathing. finish your next full exhalation, and then bring yourself back to center. So keeping the arms overhead, take your torso and arms around to the right, but try to make sure you can keep that left shoulder on the floor, and then bring your legs around to the right. Take a moment and notice what feels different on this side, and then focus completely on your inhalation and exhalation. And finishing your next exhalation, just bring yourself back to center. And just keep in mind that when you notice that your mind is wandering, don't let it go. Don't beat yourself up. Just make a mental note and come back to your breath. Push yourself up on your elbows. Take your right arm and slide it underneath your back as far as you can without your shoulder being completely uncomfortable. So depending on how tight your shoulders are, your hand may only go to the middle of your back. If your shoulders are a little more open, you may be able to push it further underneath your back. But find the places that's comfortable, and make sure you can feel your right shoulder blade on the floor. So if you push it too far and your shoulders lifted up like this, let it out a little bit so you can feel the back of your shoulder blade on the floor. And then once again, return to your awareness of your breathing, of your inhalation and your exhalation. After you finish your next exhalation, push yourself up on your left elbow, release your right arm, and switch sides. Now, keep in mind, you might be tighter on one side than the other, so maybe you can't take the left arm underneath your back as far as the right, or maybe you can take it further. But again, be sure that you can feel your left shoulder blade on the floor beneath you. And once you do that, again, return your attention completely to your inhalation and your exhalation. And remember, when you notice your mind wandering, just make a mental note and bring it back to your breath. Finish your next exhalation, push yourself up on your right elbow, and bring your arm back out. Okay, keep your left leg straight out. Lift, take your both arms out to the side to start with. Okay, lift up your right leg, cross it over, and now take your right arm overhead. Now, you may not be able to get your knee to the floor or your shoulder to the floor, but try to find a balance. So like I have to, in order to keep my shoulder kind of close to the floor, I have to let my knee be a little higher away from the floor. But if you roll all the way over and you're like this, come back up so you can mostly get your shoulder on the floor. It might not be all the way. You might not be touching, but almost all the way on the floor. Good. And then again, let's go back to complete attention on your inhalation and exhalation. Finish your next exhalation. Release your right arm back to your side. Roll back over onto your back. Stretch out your right leg. Both arms start out to the side. Drop your, take your left knee over to the side and your left arm overhead. Again, finding that balance of being able to keep your shoulder closer to the floor and letting the knee drop towards the floor. And breathe. So awareness goes back to the breath. Once you're in position, total awareness on the breathing. And when you notice your mind taking flight, bring it back to the breath. And then finishing your next exhalation completely, roll back over onto your back. and either roll onto your side to come up to seated or rock yourself up to seated. Okay, so how are you doing so far? It's sometimes a challenge if you tend to be a person who takes flights of fancy a lot. I am. Then this is like building muscles during exercise or strength during strength training or stamina during aerobic training. This is a training. This is literally building cognitive muscle. As well as, so this is, the reason I'm doing it this way is because this is one way to get people to sort of start to think about the idea that maybe I can do some mindfulness if they can attach it to holding yoga poses. So Yin Yoga has a lot of physical benefits, and typically in Yin Yoga, they don't actually talk about the breath the way I'm doing. They mostly talk about focusing on the physical sensations of the body. I'm combining these two practices, mindfulness and Yin Yoga. Okay, so if you have a block, you don't have to do this with a block, but if you have a block, we're going to be holding Badakanasana or cobbler's pose. So if you have a block, go ahead and come into Badakanasana, but in a different way, just putting your feet up on the block like this. If you don't have a block, just do regular Badakanasana like this. If you find your back slumping though, there are a couple of things you can do, and that is move the feet further apart so that you can sit up further, or you can sit up on your blanket and just lift your hips up a little bit. But find a place. I don't want you to be slumped down like this. I want you to really have that light, nice, long spine. So whichever way you're doing this pose, come into Badakanasana, hold on wherever is comfortable to help you keep your back straight. So don't bend over to do this. You can sit up and hold on to your calves. Relax your shoulders. And once you're in position, just focus on taking those nice, deep, conscious, focused inhalations and exhalations. Remember, no judgment or self-criticism if your mind wanders. Just notice and come back to the breath. After you finish your next exhalation completely, go ahead and take your feet apart. So with your left leg straight out in front of you, bend your right leg into wherever is comfortable for your knee and your hip. So if it needs to be further down your leg, that's fine. So this is the Yin Yoga version of Jana Shirsasana. So a lot of times when I teach it in the traditional way, I have a lot more focus on keeping the spine long, not bending the shoulders, not rounding, and really keeping some muscular energy. In Yin Yoga, you let go completely. So go ahead now and start with your hands just on either side of your leg and let yourself come as far forward as you can. Let your shoulders relax, let your neck relax, let your whole leg, left leg be relaxed. So even if you're way up here, that's fine. Wherever you are, wherever you get to that place, and then just again go back to this complete and total attention on your inhalation and exhalation. And when you finish your next exhalation, go ahead and inhale to come up. Let's change sides. So again, make sure that you bend your leg to a place where it's comfortable for both your knee and your hip. Relax your shoulders, relax your leg. Let yourself just drop forward as far forward as you can come. So it's okay to drop your head, it's okay to let your shoulders round. Get to your maximum place and then focus your attention on your inhalation and your exhalation. Just remembering to come back anytime your mind decides to take flight again. after you finish your next exhalation, go ahead and push yourself up. Okay, so I'm going to turn around this way. If you've got space, you don't need to turn. But go ahead and sit up with your legs as wide as is comfortable for you. So don't take them any further than feels completely comfortable. So if you're here, if you've got really tight inner groins and you're here, that's your place. And that's completely fine. Lengthen the spine up, and this time we're just going to allow, again, you're not going to flex your feet, you're just going to let your legs completely relax. Walk your hands out right in front of you, and again, just come down as far as is comfortable for you. If you're up here, don't force anything, stop there. Wherever you can land, then you start your focus on your breath, so wherever that is. Finish your next exhalation completely. And then go ahead and push yourself back up. Okay, so what did you think of that? At least twice a week in my, so I'm just talking about the Yin Yoga aspect of today's practice, at least twice a week. Well, at least once, and often twice a week, I do a complete Yin Yoga practice. That is, taking in most Yin Yoga poses, in fact, all of them are on the ground. There are no actual standing Yin Yoga practices. And then moving to the sort of cognitive mindfulness part of this, what did you notice about really staying focused on your breath and bringing your awareness back to your breath when you noticed that it had wandered away? So again, April 3rd, I'm going to be teaching a Yin Yoga on Saturday, April 3rd. I've forgotten the time, so you'll have to look online. I think it's 1 to 2:30, I believe, but you can check online. I'll be teaching a Yin Yoga for aches and pains workshop. Also, I'm going to be teaching in the studio, live, in-person class, starting whatever the first Saturday is. I think it's that following Saturday in the new spring session. Now, only 7 people are allowed in the class. Mask will be mandatory, but the class can also be Zoomed. So it can either be in person, but it'll be Zoomed live at the same time. So I'm looking forward to seeing some students back in the studio. I'm really happy about being able to do that. That class will be an all levels class at 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings. So thanks for joining me again this week, and I look forward to seeing all of you again next Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Namaste.